Chapter 9. There was no sign that anyone was on the boat, or any evidence outside that anyone had been there recently. I tried the cabin door, but it was locked. I looked through the window on the door, but there was no one in sight. From my vantage point, I could see a small stove, a sink, and a glass on the counter, half filled with a clear liquid, likely water. I could also see a bed that was haphazardly made, as if someone had just quickly pulled the covers up. I looked up and saw Gabby at the front of the boat, peering through one of the cabin windows. "It looks like someone was here recently," I said. "What do you think?" "I think we need to find someone who might know something. Let's talk to that couple over there." I was thinking the same thing. The couple was 3 boats down on the same side of the dock. When we reached them, I said, "Hello." They both turned to look at us, and the man said, "Good afternoon." I estimated the couple to be in their late 60s or early 70s. They were white, but had fairly dark skin, likely due to spending their afternoons sitting in the sun. "Do you folks live on your boat?" Gabby asked. "Going on 2 years," the woman said. "Are you too interested in becoming levaboards?" "No," I said. "We are looking for my father. He is supposed to be staying on that boat, 3 boats down." I pointed to the boat, and they both turned to look at it. The man shook his head and said, "A lot of people come up and down this dock. I can't say I remember anyone on that particular boat." "I saw him," the woman said. "A man probably in his early 50s or so. I don't know. I didn't get a good look at his face, but he caught my eye because he seemed a bit overdressed, and he was pulling a large suitcase." "When was that?" Gabby asked. "Oh, a couple of weeks ago. Maybe more, maybe less. I'm not sure," the woman said. "I think I've seen him a couple of times since then. Now that I think about it, I saw him leaving a couple of hours ago, but I wasn't paying attention, so that might have just been someone who looked similar." "Thank you so much," I said. "You've been very helpful." We walked back toward the car, and when we got far enough away, Gabby said, "If she is right, then he might have just gone out for dinner or supplies and will probably be back in a few hours, maybe even a few minutes." "I agree," I said. "Let's go back to the car and do a stakeout like Starsky and Hutch." "Like who?" Gabby said. "Never mind," I said, realizing that my love of classic television was probably unusual for people our age. "Why don't you put the top up and keep an eye out from the car, and I will get us something to eat, okay?" "That's fine," she said, "but you'll need some money." She pulled a 20 out of her purse and handed it to me. I hated relying on her for money and vowed to myself to make it up to her once I settled into a somewhat normal life. I headed to the Marina's restaurant and was pleased to find that it was a casual restaurant and they were happy to do takeout orders. I ordered 2 roast beef sandwiches, a large order of fries, and a couple of bottles of water. The order cost nearly the entire $20. 10 minutes later, I met Gabby in the car with the food. "Did you see anything while I was gone?" I said after I got in the car. "Not unless you call 2 drunk guys trying to decide who was least likely to kill someone driving home something," Gabby said. "Well, I guess that would be something," I said as I handed her food to her. Gabby unwrapped her sandwich and opened the bun. She seemed disappointed in my choice, but said nothing and took a bite. When she finished chewing, she swallowed, put the sandwich down, and said, "You know, I think if your dad shows up, I should talk to him alone first. I think the sight of you might spook him." No, I said, maybe too harshly. "I went through hell looking for him, and I won't sit it out in the car. I'll tell you what, if he shows up, we will wait until he gets to the boat, and then we will go together to see him. He won't be able to run away then. Besides, I doubt he is much of a runner at his age. I know he wasn't 5 years ago." Gabby had a look of resignation on her face and let out a small sigh before saying, "I guess that will work." We finished our sandwiches and Gabby asked, "Are you sure you want to do this? I mean, what if your father won't believe that you are his son? You may be better off not knowing than having to face that kind of rejection." "I can handle it," I said. "I've had to adjust to many changes these last few days. I've come to accept who I am and who I am not. Let me rephrase that. I still feel like I am having some kind of identity crisis, but I know I need to deal with it, and I will." "I don't doubt that you will," Gabby said. "I just don't want you to get hurt." Just then, we noticed a middle-aged man walking down the dock carrying 2 bags that I assumed were groceries. Even from our distance, I could tell it was Dad. "That's him," I said excitedly. "Give him a minute to get to the boat," Gabby said. "We'll walk slow," I said as I got out of the car. "Wait for me," Gabby yelled and got out of the car to join me. We walked together, and I could see Dad stepping onto the boat when we reached the dock. We continued walking, and when we got about halfway to the boat, Gabby grabbed my arm and said, "Shit!" "What is it?" I said. "I forgot to lock the car, and my purse is in there," she said. "I'll be right back. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone." "Okay," I said as she started walking back to the car. "I'll wait until you come back before doing something stupid." I turned back to the boat and decided, what the hell? I quickly walked the remaining distance, took a deep breath, and then stepped aboard the boat. The cabin door was closed, so I knocked 3 times and then called out, "Hello, Mr. Newman?" I heard some noise in the cabin, and then the door opened slightly, revealing a hand holding a handgun. Then the door opened a little further, and my father emerged, pointing the gun at me. I quickly raised my hands and said, "Dad, don't shoot." He looked at me, puzzled, and said, "Dad, who the hell are you, and what are you doing on my boat?" "Please, give me a minute to explain," I said. "This is going to be hard to believe, but it's me, Alex," I said. "I know if anyone can believe it, it would be you." "Is this a joke? I know my son, and you are not him," he said. 5 years ago, Lisa and I met you at your lab because we wanted to tell you Lisa was pregnant," I said. "You had just made some breakthrough and needed my help, so I let you put me into that device of yours where you copied my brain. Scott Parker then put my brain into this body, or my memories anyway. He implied you were working for the Russians and said he needed my help to find you before someone more dangerous found you, but I escaped and tracked you here." Dad had a shocked look on his face and said softly, "Holy shit." He then raised the gun higher and said, "Wait a minute, how do I know you are not working for Parker as some bounty hunter or whatever you call it? This would be standard operating procedure for them." "Do you remember when I was in the 4th grade and that bully, Jack something or other, was taking my lunch money?" I asked. "I don't know how you did it, but you dug up dirt on the kid and found out he was seeing a therapist. You got a business card from the therapist and wrote on the card, 'I will tell everyone.' You told me to give it to the bully the next time he demanded money. I did that, and he never bothered me again." The kid's name was Jack Williams. His mother brought him in to see me because she was convinced his behavior was caused by a neurological disorder. Dad said, "He was really just an asshole, and I referred him to a psychologist." He lowered the gun and said, "Why did we name you Alex?" "I was named in honor of Mom's sister, Alexa. She died in a car accident a couple of months before I was born." "It is you, Alex. I don't believe it. Of course, knowing Scott Parker, I shouldn't be surprised." "Come on in," he said as he pushed the door all the way open. I followed him inside the cabin. He set the gun down on a small table, turned to me, and said, "I knew that this was Parker's ultimate plan, but I never expected it to happen to you. I just wanted a way to reintroduce lost memories into dementia patients. But Parker, it turns out, wanted so much more. How did you get away from him? How did you find me?" "I had a lot of help from your friend Gabby," I said. "Gabby?" he said with a confused look on his face. "I hope you don't mean Gabriella." "Yes," I said, "that's her real name." "Shit," he said. "She's Parker's girlfriend. Where is she now?" "I'm right here," came a voice from behind me. This audiobook continues on the next video. For more information on this book and others by this author, please visit charleshuss.com.